Welcome back to the channel. Got back and shoulders tonight. I'm already 3 sets in. Back is really easy for me to hit, for most people to hit. It's just pulling, you know what I mean? Just different areas to pull from. That's really it. So we started over there at the chest supported T-bar rower. Surprisingly know what that is. You're gonna hit this thing isolated. Probably do 8 to 10 reps on each side, 3 sets as well. I'm gonna go hit some lat pull downs, and then hit some shoulders. Tonight's an easy night. These are one of those nights that I just like doing. They're fun. They're good for maintenance. They help you keep your back nice and strong. Just something good for you to do. Everybody should be doing some back workouts. And just like last night, I'm not going heavy. Just try to focus on a really good pump. Try not to get as much biceps in play, so that's why I'm using these, even for lightweight. Try them, don't doubt them, don't knock them. I used to do the same. I used to be real arrogant when it came to just using my hands, which sometimes I still do, don't get me wrong, but when I want to hit pure back, I'm going to use straps every time. So I'm going to rock 2 more sets like that, head over to the lat machine, and then I'll see you again at shoulders.
But I'd never back down, man, I'd rather be and I can take the pain, yeah. I'm gonna go down swinging. I get lost in the feeling. I'm gonna find my meaning. I can make a change. I wanna play the game. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Deep within. I get lost in the feeling. Just need a win. I'm going over. I know it's time to make a change, and I can take the pain. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Deep within. I get lost in the feeling. Just need a win. I'm gonna find my meaning. I can make a change. I wanna play the game, yeah.
This machine is sick. I just want to say that. This machine is sick. I've always liked this machine because of the strength curve. You don't even have to load up a lot of weight. Like, even in my strongest time, like, I can load up 3 plates and it's heavy. And on all these other back machines, I load up 3 plates easily. This one, hell no. That's what makes this one cool, though. On a couple of the episodes, I talk about, you know, not really chasing a pump and all this and that, but when it comes to back, I'll always chase a pump. I want to feel wide as hell. It's a good feeling. You ever have those moments where you're just listening to something and it just gets you going, and you just like, just get going no matter what? That's what's going on right now with the song on my headphones. I don't know what it is, but it's good. It's got me going, so I'm gonna just do one more set, and then I'm gonna go hit some lats and then shoulders. Really focus on that stretch. Reach over. Alright, so I thought about it, and since I hit those really slow and controlled sets on the other machines, I'm just going to get rowdy on these last 2 sets and just send it. 2 sets to failure. First part, obviously, I want some range of motion, but toward the end, I don't really give a shit if it gets sloppy or not. So let's just go on this one. Get comfortable re-stepping into your uncomfortable zone, because like, it's the only way you're really going to grow. You know what I mean? As a content creator, I've never gone and posted my fitness stuff to where I'm talking, explaining, and being open in a public setting like this. You know what I mean? I used to be a hip hop artist. Well, I'm still a hip hop artist. I still make music on the side and shit. But when you're doing hip hop, especially, you're behind the scenes a lot. You're doing things to make them look really nice, look fancy. You're doing everything to give everything some type of quality look and kind of put on this image. You know what I mean? I've learned in here that you have to really be yourself and learn to be comfortable with being yourself in order to do stuff like this. You try to put on an image and try to put on a show for people, it goes right, you see right through it. You know what I mean? You see through it instantly. which is why I'm not doing things like other content creators on YouTube and doing all the other things you see fitness influencers doing, because that's not me. That's not who I am. I have to stay true to my own lane, which is what helps me grow, which is why you should stay in your own lane and help yourself grow depending on what it is. You know what I mean? Something I'm trying to reteach myself as I get older, because as we get older, we get comfortable doing the same shit over and over and over again. And it's not something you should get comfortable doing. You know what I mean? And like, in terms of this over here, especially, you know, for the most part, I obviously have built muscle by doing some hypertrophy and actually focusing on form and focusing on real technique and everything that matters. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a lot of times I just send it and do whatever I feel like doing, you know what I mean? But through that, I've learned to embrace the other side of this culture, where people really focus on themselves to get a really good aesthetic and get really good health benefits from what they do. You know what I mean? Not just in the bodybuilding sense, but just as a regular person too. People taking care of their health in a good way, taking care of themselves with mobility and, you know, just everything that falls under that category. You know what I mean? Just general health, something that I've never really taken upon myself. You know what I mean? In adulthood, in my years now, yes, I'm in here, I'm familiar with everything, I'm surrounding myself with things that I'm learning even more. But ultimately, like in my youth and when I was younger, this whole lifestyle is not me at all. So being in here now as a very mature adult and seeing people how they come up and how much younger they are and how they're happy to be in here, it's a really cool thing to see, because when I was growing up, it really wasn't that way at all. You know, we actually, like, especially how I came up, a lot of people would clown us for trying to better ourselves, you know what I mean? And it took me years to finally actually see it that way and actually go my own lane and do what I wanted to do. So it's just a little advice to people out there that watch this video. Be yourself, stay in your lane, and just keep flourishing as you. You know what I mean? Don't try to fill the shoes and try to put on some type of weird image. It's weird when people do that. Don't be a weirdo that way. But going off that, I'm not trying to cheat myself out of gains either. I'm trying to get uncomfortable again, like I said. So added some more weight. As I said, we're going to take this to failure and just rock it out and then hit some shoulders. So enough rambling, let's get this set done and hit some freaking shoulders. And play this Creed louder, because this Creed is going hard as hell in my ears. All right, come on, lock in. Lock in. Oh, holy bucks, it's heavy. Let's just drop set. So this machine is way heavier than it looks. Oh, holy buckets. Oh. Same way all to failure. Same way to failure. Come on now. Oh. Alrighty, shoulders. It's been a minute since we did this. Let's see how this goes. want to take a second to be a little more, I guess, educational with what I do. Just because I know that not everybody who watches my story is in the gym 24/7 and truly is in here all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. So I get questions a lot, especially when it comes to like partial reps. In this case, you know, I get where you would want to come all the way down and you'd want to do full range of motion. But also, I'm not trying to lose any tension down here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to actually keep some tension on my shoulders the entire time, which if I come down here, I'm using more lats, if anything, to scoop it back up and push it up. Then at the very end, using more triceps to push and scoop. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible when it comes to shoulder work, when it comes to pushing. So that's why you'll see me on dumbbells. I'll go just to about there, right under my chin, and then just push back up every time, keeping constant tension on my shoulders, constant tension there. Because honestly, I've learned more and more that with push movements especially, if you lose tension at any point in time, you lose power and strength. So to avoid that, I mean, come on, it makes sense. You're going to want to keep tension the entire time. You know what I mean? That's why you see people a lot of times when they're like, let's use bench, for example, they're really new on it, way newer than me. Like I'm talking new, you know what I mean? You'll see them do the thing where they come out, shoulders flare, and then they do the, you're losing your brace every single time you're breathing out. That's why I usually preach it to a lot of the people that ask me about bench. Even though I'm not a bench specialist, I tell people like my biggest thing that helps me is holding my breath, keeping my core braced and holding my breath. And when I have to re-brace, I'll let out the tiniest little just and then just re-brace my core, but come back down and hold my breath again, because it keeps tension in my core, keeps tension in my lats, my shoulders, my chest. It keeps everything tight to where I could explode the weight up every single time. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to compound lifts like this, we're not trying to necessarily focus on that one little lateral head of your shoulder or one little spot. You know what I mean? That's not the case. Trying to fucking horse some weight around and move some weight around from point A to point B. So in that, you have to think tight body, explosive, and move the weight. That's all you're thinking about in motions like this, which is why the rep count is usually lower too. I'm trying to do like 8 to 10s right here, but this one's a hard one to do, especially. This one always reminds me of a couple people that I'm not going to talk bad about them. They train their own way, you know what I mean? But they've asked me a couple times, like, why don't you use the front racks? It's easier. And I'm like, your answer is within your question. It's easier. That's why I don't use it. I'm not trying to make the motion easier, you know what I mean? I still want it to move point A to point B as quick and as efficiently as possible, but I'm also not trying to make it easier on myself in the sense of, oh, well, it gave me an assist getting it from here, so now I could just scoop it and do this. Because removing it from here takes a lot of rear delts, takes a lot of tightness in your traps and lats, and if you're not stable doing that and pulling it forward, I mean, the carryover to like something like bench, you're not going to be able to unrack it and feel stable and secure the whole time either. So it's like, kill two birds with one stone, might as well, you know what I mean? That's why I just ignore making things easier, even if they're a little challenging and you have to put less weight on. Make it as hard as possible and just work your way up, and you're going to get stronger. But no more rambling. Let's hit this. Let me practice what I fucking preach. Let's move this. Tight legs, tight core, everything tight from the start. Let's work. Yeah. So I'm going to finish with some single arm lateral raises. I'm not going to record every set. I'm going to record this one set, and then I'm just going to put a little caption or whatever explaining the amount of sets and reps that I did. Because per request, I'm going to show what I do for grip technique and grip strength toward the end of this video, since somebody asked earlier in the comments. So I'm going to hit these lateral raisers, and you'll see the end of the video. But right now, enjoy some music. Okay, so per request, somebody was asking me about grip strength and to give them, I guess, my routine, which I don't really have a real routine necessarily, but I'll give 3 exercises that I used to do a lot before we got our grip machine that we have now. We have a grip machine that I religiously use now every day. But before we got that, I used to always do these 3 exercises to strengthen my grip, and they're really simple. I mean, the first one I'm going to show you is like, you could do it on any one of these row machines, and realistically, if you don't have one of these or you're not strong enough to do it yet, you use a resistance band. Just anchor it to something, and all you're really going to do is basically a wrist curl. It's not complicated, but you could, the thing about it is you don't want to put your feet over here. You don't want to lean into it or try to use your back to pull it. You want to keep your feet close to you to basically wedge your elbow into it, and that way you'll be able to use your forearm strength and your finger strength. Because with this, it's not going to be your typical just wrist curl where you see people doing this. You're going to let the handle slip out of your fingers as much as possible. And I have long arms, like I said, so I always have to scoot back as far as I can. But you let it slip out of your hand as much as you can, and rather than wrist curling it in, you're going to think squeeze into it. So you're squeezing into it, and with this, you don't have to go super heavy right out the gate. You go with what you can handle, you know what I mean? Because you're literally letting the handle go all the way to the very tip of your fingers right here. And then you're squeezing back up. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're doing pure roll with your fingers and let it come through. And like for me especially, I have, back years ago, I snapped this forearm. So I actually have real pain in it from time to time when it comes to leaving it in certain angles. So just find whatever works for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be super rigid. You don't have to be a one position type person. And if you want, you could even go around the clock with it. You know what I mean? Work different angles of your wrist, because this is one of our daily functions. You know what I mean? You want to strengthen what you use every day as much as you can in every angle that you can. And one thing, I can't remember who said it on a video recently, but they were mentioning about pinky strength and how it made a huge difference when this person started basically training their whole grip around, rather than just wrists and rather than just these 2 fingers. Because when you'll notice that if you go heavy on the typical wrist curls, when you start struggling, you pull more from these two fingers, and you pull more kind of with your bicep almost, and like squeeze in with your lats. And that's kind of how you cheat more weight with wrist curls. With this, it's very hard to cheat weight. Like, even as I'm talking, I'm not really doing anything, and it's burning my forearms just trying to keep it held at this position. So the further of a stretch you get and the more of a squeeze you get into it, the better contraction, the better burn, the more fucking stimulus you're going to give your forearms, which is basically what you want if you're trying to get some type of crazy grip. You know what I mean? And if you really want, I mean, I'll ego lift this one from time to time. I'll straight put on 130 every now and then and just make sloppy reps, but I'll get a crazy freaking forearm pump. You know what I mean? So if you're limited on grip strength machines, this is one thing to try. I'm going to show you two more things though after this. So another one I used to follow religiously is very similar to that. The only difference is you could put more weight and you could kind of cheat it a little bit from using your biceps, but you're going to get a rotation in your wrist while you do it. So you're going to be squeezing in with your fingers, but twisting at the same time. So think supination, just. And the cool part about being able to cheat is you wedge yourself into the machine with your other arm. So you kind of squeeze in with your lat, pull it into yourself. I fucking can't think of the word right now, but put your hand this way and then squeeze and twist in. Just squeeze and twist in. Squeeze and twist in. You could get away with partials on this too. That's why I said you could get away with heavier weight on this. You'll feel it a little bit in your lats, but because of the twist and the squeeze, you're going to get a huge pump right through here on your forearms. I'm going to show a different angle so you can see one more time, because that angle's kind of shitty. I'm tall, so it's hard to get an angle with this tripod. I always forget to bring my good tripod. I'm just kind of lazy. My own fault. It's a pain in the ass to bring too, because it gives a lot more height. Yeah, that'll work. So, one more time. Wedge yourself in. Squeeze and twist. I personally like taking that to failure. Find your number where you fail and just keep going. You know what I mean? Just repeat, rinse and repeat. But I'll show you one more exercise and I'm going to get out of here. So this third exercise I'm going to show you, this one, I truly believe in my head that this is the game changer. This is what made my grip strength as strong as it is right now, because this, you have to kind of fight gravity and you're getting a forearm pump at the same time. And it's just, you don't even need heavy weight. It's a beautiful workout for anybody. Like, I promise you, you don't need a lot of weight. Somebody out there somewhere can probably use those 3 or 5 pound weights and get a crazy pump off of this. So the biggest key in this is you're not going to want to use momentum. You're not going to want to do this thing. You're not going to want to, you're going to want to try to take out as much of your arm as possible and use as much of your fingers as possible before you hit your forearms, if that makes sense. It's a real, like, you have to really concentrate when you do it. You have to really focus on doing it. So you're going to hold the dumbbell, not this way, so that you're fighting it from falling out of your fingers. That's virtually what you're doing. And that's where the rep starts, is letting it fall out of your fingers. So you're letting it fall out of your fingers as much as possible, getting this stretch through here and squeezing up and then flexing your forearm. You're not just using your forearm to flex it and move it like this. You're letting it fall out of your hand as much as possible, squeezing and then getting that squeeze in your forearm. Like I said, it doesn't matter what weight you got to use. Don't feel judged by doing whatever weight you got to use to do this, because it's not that easy. I promise you it's not that easy. A lot of people don't realize how easy it is to do it this way when you end up doing forearms, and then they flip their arm around and try doing this, and it's so much harder. So remember, let it fall out of your hand. It's going to feel a little sketchy, but squeeze and then pull up. You're going to really have to squeeze with your pinkies. That's the trick here. Squeezing with your pinkies and getting that squeeze into your forearms. Because it's hard. I'm telling you, this is a hard one. This is a game changer for anybody out there, and I'll stand by that. God. Whew. Again, just take it to failure. This is one of the ones you could gladly take to failure. Just find the number that you fail at and then take it there. I really wish I counted that because I didn't count that, but just because of my OCD, I need to even out. So there you go. 3 exercises that will help your grip strength. I'm standing on that because I promise you, I don't care how arrogant it is, I have one of the strongest grips in here. And no, I wanted to do that for the person that requested that in the comments. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna hit an arm day because I don't need a rest necessarily, but I definitely need a little bit less heavy weight before I hit my next leg session. So tomorrow we're gonna hit arms, conserve some energy, but go hard as hell on arms, you know what I mean? And then after that, you're gonna see a really nasty leg session. I'm deciding on what exactly I'm gonna do, but I'm probably gonna do Zercher deadlifts is what I'm thinking. Oh goodness. But if we don't do Zercher deadlifts, you're gonna see a heavy squat session. But I'm feeling rowdy, and I feel like doing some unconventional lifts because one of the gym homies tonight reminded me it's a mindset. It's a mindset. He showed me a video of him Zercher deadlifting 275, and I was like, man, I miss doing that. That's one of my favorite exercises. If you look on my shorts, I've actually maxed that out at 405. But aside from that, like I said, tomorrow arms, next day crazy leg session. So hope you guys are enjoying the vlogs. Till the next one.